going to try and get through this. Grief is just love with nowhere to go. Someone recently told me this, and it has helped me navigate through the grieving process. I hope these words will help you as well. We are here today to honor and remember a wonderful, kind-hearted human, my mom, Mary Irene Campbell. My mom would have enjoyed seeing you all here together, her family and close friends, including family who are joining us via video chat from Ireland and New Brunswick. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. A little about my mom. She came to Ontario by herself from Chatham Head, New Brunswick, as a very young woman to create a better life for herself. She met my dad, married, and had 2 children, my sister Darlene and I. My mom and dad bought a house here in Hamilton and settled down, raising my sister and I in a kind, loving family. As my sister and I became older, my mom went back to work as a waitress, cleaning houses, and eventually went back to school to become a PSW, a natural transition because of her giving personality. She was a continuous learner, always reading and learning new things. She learned to drive in her 40s, although my dad was not thrilled about her driving his car. If you knew my dad, you'd understand. She learned to text in her 80s. She was persistent and never gave up, always trying to learn new things. My mom eventually retired in her late 60s, but continued being physically and mentally active. She recently started learning to play the violin and would watch YouTube videos to help learn. She probably would have practiced more, but she was concerned about disturbing the neighbors. That's my mom. She loved her family and enjoyed returning home to New Brunswick to see them, and there were many good get-togethers with great food and some great music. Other than going home to New Brunswick, my mom was not a traveler. She preferred staying home. However, we did convince her to go to Cuba for a family wedding when she was in her 80s. She enjoyed the trip, but because she didn't really enjoy the traveling part, we have a few funny stories from that trip. The one that stands out for me, Brenda was there, she knows, was after a very long travel day and no elevators in the hotel, my mom finally arrived in her room, laid face down on the bed, and said, "Never again." She enjoyed being a grandmother and great-grandmother and loved spending time with them. She was famous for her corn chowder soup and would make it for them whenever she could. But when they asked her for the recipe, she wouldn't write it down. She would always just say, "Oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that." We still don't have the recipe. She was a remarkable person. She touched everyone she came in contact with. She always had a genuine smile. "Hello, how are you?" She will be remembered for her generosity, kindness, and will always be in our hearts. I would like to again thank you all for coming, and also thank you to the Innsville staff for putting on this lovely lunch. My mom would have enjoyed this. Please be sure to have some coffee and dessert. It does look delicious. At this time, I would like to introduce Paul Barnes Strings, who we have been enjoying listening to today. In closing, Paul will be playing The Old Rugged Cross. That was my mom's only request for this event. Paul, if you will.